Welcome to TalentMotives, the deep dive, uncovering what drives you.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really digging into something fundamental, what actually drives us, in work, in life. We've got a great set of sources you sent over, all looking at intrinsic versus extrinsic motivation. And our mission here is pretty clear. Cut through the jargon, find the core insights, and figure out how these forces shape, everything. Performance, satisfaction, especially at work. Okay, so let's maybe start with the basics. Definitions. Extrinsic motivation. That one seems pretty straightforward. It's the outside stuff, right?
Exactly. It comes from outside of you.
Like paychecks, getting that promotion and awards.
Yeah, or even negative things like the fear of losing your job. It's that external push or pull, the classic carrot and stick.
Right, the carrot and stick.
But then you contrast that with intrinsic motivation, and that's where I think it gets really interesting. That comes from within.
Okay.
It's, that spark of curiosity, maybe.
Right.
Or just the sheer enjoyment of figuring something out.
Or helping people, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Or mastering a skill. It's tied deeply to our own values, what we're genuinely passionate about. Not about the reward after, but the thing itself.
Okay, and this is where the sources start to challenge things a bit. Because most workplaces we see are built around the extrinsic, aren't they?
Oh, definitely. Think about it. Bonuses, performance ratings, recognition programs, employee of the month. It's all very external.
And those things can work, right? The sources acknowledge that. They can give you a boost.
For sure, especially for maybe simpler, more routine tasks. You get a short-term bump in performance.
But, and this seems crucial, they don't really sustain engagement, like over the long haul.
That's a key point in the material. They often don't. And worse, sometimes if you lean on them too heavily.
Yeah.
Especially for work that needs creativity or, complex problem solving. Relying only on those external rewards can actually backfire.
Backfire how?
Well, it can actually reduce intrinsic motivation. There's this idea called the overjustification effect. Think about someone who, say, loves painting just for fun. If you suddenly start paying them per painting,
right,
that internal joy can kind of shift. It becomes about the money, not the painting itself. The sources suggest our focus narrows. We aim for the reward, maybe take fewer risks.
And lose that creative spark along the way.
Yeah. Potentially stifling the very thing you wanted to encourage.
So if extrinsic rewards aren't the whole answer, especially for complex stuff, what then? This seems to be where intrinsic motivation really comes into its own, based on what you said.
Absolutely. When people's work connects with those inner drivers, they don't just work harder. It's different.
How so?
They work smarter. There's an energy there, a persistence that lasts, that taps into something deeper.
Well, a lot of the material mentioned self-determination theory.
Right. That's a big framework here. It talks about 3 core psychological needs we all have.
Okay, what are they?
Autonomy, feeling like you have some control, some choice. Competence, feeling like you're good at what you do and getting better. And relatedness, feeling connected to others, to the mission.
Autonomy, competence, relatedness. Got it.
And when a workplace supports those needs, gives people chances to grow, connect, have some say, that's when intrinsic motivation really takes root and, flourishes.
So it's less about dangling a carrot and more about creating the right environment.
Exactly. Think about it. Someone who loves solving puzzles thrives on curiosity. Give them interesting problems. A natural leader. They thrive on influence. Let them lead. Someone detail-oriented loves order. Let them create systems.
It's about aligning the work with who people are.
Yes. That's when they consistently bring their best, most authentic selves.
Okay, let's make this concrete. There was an example in the sources, right? 2 salespeople.
Yeah, that was a good one. Both hit their targets. Big goals, they both achieved them.
Okay.
But their drivers were different. One was really motivated by the commission, the bonus check, maybe getting recognized publicly. External stuff. The other salesperson, they were more driven by building real relationships with clients, solving tricky problems for them. That was their reward. Intrinsic.
Right. So the outcome hitting the goal looks the same from the outside.
Correct. But here's the management challenge. If the manager only focuses on the bonus.
The first salesperson is happy, feels seen.
Totally. But the second one, the one who values connection and solving problems, they might get the same bonus but still feel, a bit unseen. Like what really motivates them wasn't recognized.
Okay. So the insight is about tailoring things.
Precisely. Tailoring recognition. Maybe the first employee gets that bigger bonus or public praise. Great. But for the second employee, maybe you offer them a chance to lead a complex client project or mentor someone, opportunities that feed their intrinsic drivers.
So both feel valued, but in ways that actually resonate with them individually.
Yes, that's the key.
Okay, so wrapping this up then, what's the big takeaway for everyone listening? Whether you're leading a team or just thinking about your own career, it seems pretty clear. Those extrinsic rewards, the pay, the promotions, they definitely matter. They have a role.
Absolutely. We can't ignore them. But they are just not enough on their own, especially for the kind of complex, creative, engaging work most of us aspire to do.
Right.
So to really build teams that are engaged, that perform at a high level consistently, or even just to find that deep satisfaction in your own work, organizations and us as individuals, we really need to consciously tack into intrinsic motivation.
That's where the real lasting stuff comes from.
That's what the sources strongly suggest. Lasting productivity, loyalty, genuine innovation, even meaning.
Lots to think about there. We hope this deep dive gave you maybe a new lens to look through when it comes to motivation, and maybe a question to mull over as you go about your day. How do these different motivators, intrinsic and extrinsic, show up in your own life or work? Are there places where maybe unintentionally that internal spark is getting dampened, something to reflect on?
Find out more about MQi and LiDi AI by visiting our website at TalentMotives.com.